everyone, and welcome to Stamp with Angela. I'm Angela Palmer, and I'm excited to be here with you today to share this week's cards and techniques and ideas with you. So thank you for joining me, whether you're joining on Facebook or YouTube. Now, in case you're wondering, although this is live, I have pre-recorded it. So if you watched last week's live when I did the flower and the blending coloring with the big flower, you may have noticed that I was wearing my Creative Inkers, my new team top, and I am again now. So I'm part of Jackie Williams' team and in the Creative Inkers team, and I've also got my own team, which is very exciting. And so this is our team top. So this is a recording, and I recorded it last week after last week's live because right now I'm not here in New Zealand. I am overseas in Australia, in Sydney, for the demonstrator event known as On Stage. And that will be starting Thursday afternoon as we speak with the time difference. So I'm not sure if we're ahead or behind. Well, Australia will be behind. So it'll be starting soon. So that's very exciting. So I didn't want you to miss out on a weekly live. So this is recorded. So hopefully it has, come when it's meant to, and you get to watch this week's live. So thank you for joining me. Let me know who's here, where you're joining from. Please still keep commenting things because I will take a look and see who's here. And if you've got questions and stuff, I'll be able to answer those later. So last week I shared a card with you involving some blending, and it was involving the Simply Beautiful stamp, the nice big flower, and I showed you how to color that quickly and create a lovely card. And that was one of the cards that I did at my coffee and card classes last week, and the ladies had fun with that. The other card we did also involved some blending using our blending brushes and also some masking. And it was a fairly quick or a fairly simple card using some of the lovely stamps. And so I thought I would share this one with you today as well, so you can see how we made it. So let's have a look at what we're going to be doing. All right, so the stamp sets that in particular I wanted to use when I made this card was going to be from the Beautifully Celebrated, which is the other stamp set which was part of the suite I used last week, and particularly these two kind of leafy kind of stamps. This one worked really well with what I planned. This didn't actually go quite so well, and sometimes it's like that. We have things in mind and it doesn't work out quite so well. But I found this stamp really worked quite well. And I've used it actually quite a bit in coffee and cards, but in different ways. So that way you can see the versatility, and people had the option of, either or. Now, what we made was a SIP card. And you might be thinking, what is a SIP card? So SIP stands for S-I and P. S for stamps, I for ink, and P for paper, or in our case, cardstock. And that's basically what the card consisted of. So I'll show you a couple of examples. So like we did last week, I used the note cards, and this is what we created. So a simple card with some stamping, some ink, and then cardstock with paper to make our card. And we've masked as well. So I kind of kept it monochromatic. Here we've got one with, I believe, shaded spruce, if I've got it right from memory. This one is slightly more neutral color with the pecan pie. So you can see the two different sets used with these particular cards. And then I've got another card where I've kind of added an extra color to it. So I'll show you that as well. So let's get started, and I'm going to bring some paper down because we're going to do a bit of blending and masking and things. All right, so we're going to start off with this, and you need some masking tape of some kind. Now, Stampin' Up! Have masking tape, or masking paper rather, but I've run out and it's in an order still coming. So what we used at Coffee and Cards is this painter's tape. All right, so it works quite well. It can be quite sticky. So what I did was, I don't have I can see my sleeve there. I kind of brushed it on my clothes just to take some of the stickiness out. So hopefully it doesn't rip the paper when I pull it up. So we're going to put it on like that at a slight angle, and then we're going to sponge the colors. I don't know if you remember last week, I mentioned how the ladies had wished I brought a blue along. Unusual for me because I do like blue myself. So we are going to make a blue card now. So I've got one to share. I did have Lost Lagoon, but it's a slightly more greeny color. So this is Balmy Blue. and I'm going to start by sponging the background. Now you can make this as dark or light as you like. Now I'm going to kind of start off because it can be a little bit blotchy, circles, and then go in circles. Now if you push harder, it will obviously make it darker, and we want to try and not catch our tape there as well. Right, let's start at the bottom and do the bottom half. So it's a fairly quick, easy card, and I haven't included any embellishments, but of course you could if you wanted to add a bit of sparkle or something to it as well. All right, whoops, we don't want to lift it up. Hopefully it's okay. So when you're happy, we will do some stamping. I think that will do. So you can choose to keep it monochromatic, keep it the same color, which I will do. I am going to bring in my matte because it will give a better, that's just a paper piercing mat with grid paper over it, to give it a more defined look. So we're going to start off with this one first, which, you know, is a little bit interesting in blue, but I think it will look very cool. First of all, I find my big stamp. So I'm going to ink it up like so. And I've got a feeling this is going to be quite light, but we'll see how it looks. Oh, that looks quite effective. And then we'll ink it up again and do it at the bottom. I kind of like that. Push. There we go. Right. The next part we need to do, we'll keep our mat there because we're going to stamp some more, is very carefully lift this up, hopefully without ripping the card behind. So that's why we wanted to make sure it's not too sticky. But isn't that cool? It gives a nice defined line. We'll save this. We can use it again. We'll use it for our next card. And we're going to put a sentiment on. So find sentiments that you've got that fit this. I'm going to use Go to Greetings. Now, it's not actually current anymore, but it works really well for this. So you find what you've got and use it. So I'm going to use Thinking of You. Now, I just want to show you a couple of things with stamping. So when you stamp, you want to go down, hold it, and up. You don't want to rock it. Otherwise, you're going to get those kind of lines there, you know, which aren't ideal because basically you're getting it around the edge of the stamp. So it's more of a down, hold, and up. So let's see if we can do it for real now in the middle, like so. It's a little bit lower than I would have liked, but that's okay. There we go. So that is our Thinking of You. And then what we need to do is put that onto a note card. So wasn't that quick and easy to do? So just looking for a card base. As I mentioned before, when you are folding it, line it up. That one's got a mark on it. Let's find one that doesn't have a mark on it. Okay, so I'm going to kind of line up the edges and then press it down and then go with my bone folder. So hopefully it's nice and square. So with this one, it is just a little bit smaller than the card, like so. So I've just got a white border around it. You can add layers if you like, and that's what I'm going to do with my next card. Right, let's get this going. It's been sitting here a while. I haven't used it. Here we go. All right. So how is that? Nice, quick, simple, and effective. Like I said, if you want to add a bit of sparkle too, you can. But otherwise, that is the card. And you could also, if you wanted, you could, what's the word? You could stamp one of the little, that onto the envelope and things so it coordinates as well. So there it is in the balmy blue. So what I'm going to do now is create it with a bit of a border. So I'm going to use like Secret C, like this. So I'm going to use the same blue. We're going to pull out that tape we had before, but we're going to make it two colors this time. So we're going to sponge again like we did with our balmy blue. Which one was it? Just find the right brush. The sponging again, as dark or as light as you like. Start off in case you get those splodgy bits. Oops, keep the tape down. You could make it darker if you wanted to. You know, there's all sorts of colours you could try with this, and I'll show you some other colour variations soon. And then what I'm going to do is stamp with Secret Sea, one of my favourite colours. One of the ink colours, but thankfully around for a bit longer yet, which is good. The other ink colours from last year, colours like Petunia Pop, Pretty in Pink, Shy Shamrock, Summer Splash, and Peach Pie are the ones that will be retiring in a couple of months. So if you like those colours, you need ink refills or cardstock or whatever, get it while you can. But this is an ink colour that's around for a year longer. So I'm going to use this finer one this time, and we're going to have it coming down from the top like so. Doesn't that look cool? And over here, beautiful. And then we're going to do the bottom. So you'll see that I don't pick up my stamp too quickly, just to give the chance for the ink to go onto the paper. Right, we'll leave our ink open because we need to do our sentiment. So again, carefully taking this off. You can reuse this bit several times as long as it's sticking enough, because you don't want it too sticky. All right, let's go with a happy birthday this time. It's the same thing, down, up, no rocking. Right, no pressure now. See if we can get the angle a bit better this time. Oh, that's pretty good. Look at that. Beautiful. I actually quite like the contrasting colour in that, with the blue and then the darker kind of, it's sort of a deep blue and then kind of like a black, but not quite a black. All right, so I'm going to mount that onto a piece of this, like so, and then put it on our card base. Now, these are note cards, like I said. You could do the same design, but make it a standard size card. Obviously, you could maybe have a bigger stamp in the middle and a wider space. And definitely masking paper would be good for that, because you can cut it the width that you want. Or you could just have that same width, but then there would be more happening around it, which is quite cool. All right, then I get my card base. Again, we're going to fold it in half and line it up. So to me, that is the sort of indent. So I like to fold it that way. So lining up the edges, holding it carefully, and then pressing it into that crease and doing it with the bone folder. Whoops. Oh dear. Got a bit of ink on my hands, and then we're going to put that like so. Isn't that stunning? The two-tone actually looks quite nice, and I've seen some people do it with greens, and I remembered that I was actually going to do a green one here and I forgot. So let's have a quick look at maybe a green version if I've got a piece cut ready to go. Let's do a third one, so just so you can see the variation and how quick and easy they are, but they look really effective. So let's try what I was going to do, a green version. So I'm going to use I've got no idea what this is going to look like, but we've got Lost Lagoon for our background. And then I'm going to come in with Shaded Spruce. So that's, oh dear, we've got a circle there. We better make sure that we hide that with our branches. I'm not quite sure how I got the circle. I guess a bit of a daub. Start off. So why not have a play with this technique with stamps that you've got? And then let me know what you use. All right. So this one I'm going to try different colors. Okay. Then we bring back our matte. I'm going to go for Shaded Spruce. So it's a contrasting color. Except I need to clean my stamp first, which had the blue on it. So I will do that. All right, and then for a bigger stamp, I don't know if you can see, I kind of like to do it that way, and then I can see where the ink is. Not sure how this is going to look, but we will try. Oh, there we go. That's quite cool. Now, can you see that? I'm just looking at the stamp. Is there something on it? I think there is. Just cleaning it. And you get a little hair or something on it. I might be able to touch it up with a marker or something. Hopefully that's better. There we go. All right, and then we are carefully pulling that off and going to stamp a sentiment. That looks quite cool with those colours. What have we got? Thinking of you. How about we do a thank you this time? Where is my thank you? So use whatever sentiments you've got. Line it up. Hopefully the angle's right. Well, that's pretty good. And then we're going to put that on a card base as well. So that's with slightly contrasting, not too contrasting, but different. I'm a little bit worried about putting it onto a card base because my hands are a bit inky, so I might just let you see those. So there we go. So we've got a couple of variations here. We've got the monochromatic look with the balmy blue, background balmy blue stamping, and the same with our sentiment. Here we've got, I really like the Secret Sea. Balmy blue background with the Secret Sea stamping over the top, so that's really quite prominent with that border. Let me know, do you like it with the border or do you like it with the white? And then we've got this one we just did here with Lost Lagoon and Shaded Spruce. So a slight contrast of our colours. And here's some others that I've done. So I showed you at the beginning. So that was the Shaded Spruce, but that's with the finer one. And it's the same top and bottom, whereas that's different. Here it is with Pecan Pie. Here is Fresh Freesia with Secret Sea. This is Lost Lagoon, I believe, for both. I'm not 100% sure now, but I think so. This one is, so these aren't mounted on cards, but so you can see what it's like. This is what I did as samples at Coffee and Cards, what I need to put onto background. So that one is Calypso Coral. Here's one not quite finished yet, but again, that Fresh Freesia and the Secret Sea. And then we've got this one here, which is Fresh Freesia, and it's the monochromatic, the two colors together. So look at that. So your challenge is to have a go at some masking. So see if you've got some painter's tape or get some masking sheets. Don't have them too sticky. Remember, put them on your skin or your clothes just to take some of that stickiness off, so when you peel it, it can peel quite easily. Have a look at what sort of stamps you've got, leaves and things that you can use, and then find sentiments that fit in within those spaces. So if you give it a go, I'd love to see what you create. It'll be great. So these are what I did at Coffee and Cards last week. That was the first card they did, keeping it simple, and then we stepped it up to the second card, which is what I showed you last week with the flower. So Coffee and Cards is the first Tuesday of the month, followed by the next Thursday. I do a repeat on the class on a Thursday. So if you're local, Vero Cafe is on the North Shore in Unsworth Heights. You're welcome to come and join us. Like I say, it's not using lots of big fancy equipment, but learning some techniques and ideas and making some cards like this, which I think, yeah, someone, receives a card like this, it's so special and nice and handmade. So how about you check out your supplies and see what you've got and give it a go. Now, before I go, I want to mention what I mentioned last time about extravaganza. So as we're coming to this, it'll be just over a week away. Coming up on Saturday, the 21st of March. It's a fun day of crafting with like-minded people. We do the hard work. We come up with the designs, do all the kits. You come along and we teach you what to do, show you step by step. From 10 a.m. to 3:30, doors open half an hour early. Set up like this in the hall. It's a large group of people, lots of teachers, and held at Northcote Baptist Church. So we'll have a couple of projects, lunch, a couple of projects, afternoon tea, one more project. You'll learn techniques, trying new products, displays, there's door prizes, more. You get a little bag with your instructions in it. and the kit's in it ready to go. It costs $55. So if you'd like to come, check out the link, sign up. Registrations will be closing soon, so don't miss out. All right, so I hope you enjoyed today's cards. So today's cards were involving kind of two techniques. One is your blending. There's my ink pads. So using your blending brushes and your ink gently and carefully to create that background. And then we did that masking with our tape to create that defined space on our cards for a sentiment. So it's all one layer. Well, unless you add an extra layer like this. But don't they look amazing? So different. Have fun with different colors. Why not give it a go and see how you get on? So as I mentioned, this is a recording because I will currently be, or I currently am, in Australia at the on-stage event. So let me just come back here now so you can see me. Here we go. So I appreciate you watching this live. Whether you're watching it when it is live or whether you're watching the recording later. It is a little bit quicker today, just, I guess being recording, and it is a fairly simple card, but I'd love you to give it a go. So if you are new to me, I'm based on the North Shore in Auckland, and I've been a demo for over 14 years, and I've been to a few Stampin' Up events. They had some locally in New Zealand and Auckland, and now some in Australia, which is lots of fun. It's great to be, I've got a team member that I'm there with, and then the wider team of Jackies as well. So it's fun to do these things together. So I'm hoping next year that there'll be other team members that can come along too, whether that's in New Zealand or Australia, we don't know, but it would be fun. And maybe you'd like to join us, become a demonstrator and come along to events like this as well. They're lots of fun, learning lots, the friendships, the community, it's well worth it. And, you can still obviously come to my classes and things, and then I have special online events or online meetings with my team to let them know what's happening and looking at doing a team event as well. So thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you being here. Please leave comments. Maybe let me know what colour card you like from today, or what colour card you'd like to make. Let me know, do you like the one where it was just the one piece on the white, or did you like the background where there was that contrast with the secret C as well? I'd love to know what your favourites are. If you're not on my mailing list, please sign up. Then you'll get information about events and promotions and exclusive tutorials and other information. So I appreciate you being here. If you've got any questions, do reach out to me. I enjoy coming to you each Thursday at 1:30 p.m. for these lives, particularly for those of you that I know we can't meet in person because you're all over New Zealand. So it's a great way to connect and share ideas. So thanks for watching today. I look forward to seeing you again next week, where I will be here in person so I can respond to your comments and things as we go. But thank you again for being here. All right. Thanks so much. I look forward to seeing you again soon. All right. Thanks. Bye.